That's a wonderful message, David. Um, those leaders that you mentioned that love differentiation and you identify them, have you noticed in terms of personality, maybe they have high energy, low? I mean, do they have to have high energy? Are they smart? Or have you seen them in all different types of personalities? Um, as far as like when they come and approach you and you get excited about the project.
Yeah, it's all different personalities, because I think that's one of the lies that people tell. It's like leaders look like this, leaders talk a lot, leaders are loud and out front, leaders are powerful and charismatic. And then somebody will be a great leader by being quiet and reserved. And, nobody ever told you about great speeches Gandhi gave. Right? That's not a thing that people talk about. They talk about Martin Luther King's speeches. Well, if Martin Luther King's was the only way to do it, then if you can't give good speeches, then you're not a good leader. But then Gandhi, all he did was really live his life and set an example and actually live a very difficult life, but didn't have to be that difficult because he wanted to live like the poorest people in India live, to show that he was one of the people. So he spoke through his actions. Martin Luther King spoke through his actions, but very, very powerfully through his words as well. So there's a lot of different ways. You can lead quietly. You can lead loudly. You can lead positively. You can lead by being very critical and detail-oriented. So, for example, I just got off the phone with somebody earlier today who I've known for a long time, saw the Freak Factor a long time ago, and everybody was telling him he was too obsessed with the details. His wife complained that he was too obsessed with the details. His employees complained that he was too obsessed with the details. His friends complained that he was too obsessed with the details. And he heard the Freak Factor and he realized, wait a second, I'm successful because I'm obsessed with the details. And so now even the sides of his vans, he runs a facility services company, the sides of his vans say proudly obsessed with the dirty details. Right? And so he embraced it. He amplified it. He put it on the side of a vehicle. He made it the tagline for his business. So it's not, he had the right personality to be a leader. He saw that he could use his personality, whatever it was, to be successful in that particular industry with that particular business. So no, it isn't, hey, be more like this as a leader and you'll have a good business. It's tap into who you are. Reject that, hey, you can't be yourself, or you're too idealistic. If you're idealistic, try to create that ideal world. I have a very ideal life because I'm idealistic, and then I created that ideal life. If I would have said, well, it's not possible, well, you just got to do your job, well, you just got to make your boss happy, well, you just can't be yourself because if you are, you'll get fired, then I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I wouldn't have the freedom and the flexibility and the fulfillment that I had, and I wouldn't have the financial rewards that I have in my business. Last year was, like I said, was my best year ever, and I calculated it from the day I started working after college. And so, that potential just doesn't exist with doing what somebody else has in mind for you, or doing it somebody else's way. Again, if it doesn't fit with who you are. Now, I don't think everybody should be an entrepreneur. I think that's part of personality. I think some people, they have, I'm an entrepreneur because I'm unemployable. Not because I'm a better person, but because in a lot of ways I'm a worse person. And so I don't put pressure on my kids. My daughters are 21, 19, and 16. And my oldest is a very happy employee. She's got a good job. She likes the security. She likes the consistency. And she's got other goals. She's working on her master's. She's looking at doing other things on the side. And we've talked about her starting a business, and she might at some point, but employment is a good fit for her style. She was good at school. She's good at that structure. She enjoys the clarity about that kind of situation. So I think that's the other thing too, is that there's other things besides money. There's a lot of downside to having your own business. I mean, look what happened to me in 2020. So most people be like, yeah, okay, you made a bunch of money, but you also went through a bunch of stress in 2020 that I didn't have to deal with because I was an employee and I was at Netflix. Imagine somebody who's working at Netflix during the pandemic. I made tons of money during the pandemic. My life was fine. I have security. I know what I'm going to get paid, whatever, right? So it's not a solution for everybody. And so that's something too, is it's not entrepreneurship is better than employment. It's just another option depending on what kind of person you are and what kind of life you want to have.